Hello students, please subscribe the channel, drop a like, share and comment. Today's transcription number 318 of Sir Kailash Chandra's volume number 15 on the speed of 100 words per minute. Start. Mr. Chairman, we note that the Territorial Army was inaugurated in our country by the Act of 1920. For a period of something like 28 years, it did not have a much important role to play inside our country, though during this period the country has witnessed the Second World War, and as far as our country was concerned, enemies also entered from the east, the Japanese forces. After 28 years after we attained independence, another act was passed in 1948 in order to bring the Territorial Army under a new setup. The present bill was introduced in May 1954 in the Lok Sabha, and it is after 2 years that it has reached the final stage. This delay of 2 years in taking up this measure shows what little interest we take in matters of defense, and particularly the role that the Territorial Army is likely to play in our country. Those of us who come from the former Indian states do feel that for some reason or other, for the last 7 or 8 years, we are not paying much attention to army matters. This we are noticing every day, and I will give a few instances which will show that is the state of affairs as far as matters of defense are concerned. We treat this matter with complacency, but some day may come when probably we may have to regret the little interest we are taking in this all important matter. 4 or 5 months ago, we passed the Lok Sahayak Sena bill, and on that occasion also I spoke and gave a little warning to the Honorable Minister for Defence, who himself was piloting that bill, that these matters were not taken seriously, and he assured me that that was not the case. Sir, I would submit that soon after that bill was passed, one camp was allotted to Bikaner division, or the former Bikaner state, from where I come. The camp was opened in the first week of October, when I also happened to be in that area for some private work. Sir, the collector received an intimation from the Defense Ministry that from a particular date the camp would be started with 500 trainees. The collector arranged with the Chief Minister of Rajasthan to inaugurate the camp. Sir, during that period I happened to be there, and I know what a fiasco it was. There were no rations, there were no arrangements for camping, there was nothing whatsoever, and hardly a few people were collected in order to show that a camp had started. At least on our side of the country, the notion is that this country only belongs to the Congress and not to others, and therefore only a few Congress volunteers were collected to see that somehow or other the camp was started. Whosoever the people might be, whether they were fit for the purpose of training or not. This happened only about 2 months ago, and the Honorable Minister can verify these facts because I happened to be on the spot there. If this is how we take army and military matters, I only feel very sorry. What will be the condition if we are to tackle serious matters or if we are involved in real warfare? Sir, I note with a little concern whenever replies are given in the House in regard to defense matters. I particularly refer in this connection to our army operations against the Nagas. Whenever a question in this connection is placed before the House, the reply given generally is that the Nagas are armed with arms and ammunition left behind by the Japanese and that they are properly armed and that therefore we could not liquidate them even though we are operating there for over a year or so. It may satisfy the Honorable Defense Minister and the Defense Ministry, but not people like us who claim to know something of it, though we are now supposed to be out of date and not of much use. I would ask, can the ammunition left behind by the Japanese something like 10 years ago be of any use now in the year 1956? I am myself fond of shikar and shooting, and I know that after 2 years the ammunition which we keep with us becomes absolutely useless and we cannot do anything with it, and to say that the arms and ammunition left by the Japanese some 10 years ago are still being used by the Nagas could not be believed. Sir, the obvious thing is that they are being supplied fresh arms and ammunition by some other countries or some other agencies, but the world has gone far ahead since 1944 or 1945 when the Japanese advanced into that area, and we are supposed to equip ourselves with the most modern weapons.